Welcome to the Feeding Our Young podcast.
Have you ever heard the phrase, nurses eat their young?
Feeding Our Young is more than a podcast. It's a movement.
It's a desire to see new nurses of all ages be supported and uplifted by their peers. And it starts with me.
It starts with you.
So join host Eric Miller, registered nurse of nearly 20 years and adjunct clinical instructor, and today's honored guest, me, Izzie Wilkes.
And me, Jennifer Evans.
And be ready to have your life uplifted so you can, in turn, uplift others.
Welcome
to the
Feeding Our
Young podcast. Is there a delay?
So welcome to the second episode of what we are tentatively titling the Alert and Oriented ×3 episodes, which is actually a joke, as you just heard. Someone's doing it right after night shift, so there you are.
You're welcome.
And Izzie, lead us off with your first question.
Okay, in my delirious state, what was your guys' aha moment of either ooh, I should be a nurse, or finally getting into nursing and be like, oh yeah, I am designed for this. This is for me. What was your aha moment or your affirming moment of being a nurse?
I make no bones about that. I did not grow up wanting to be a nurse. I definitely knew healthcare, wanted to be a doctor, took a detour into the ministry. But for me, how I became a nurse was because when I got out of the ministry, I knew that was not for me. My wife was like, well, you want to be a doctor? No, we already had our first son, I don't want to take that time away from you. Well, what about being a nurse? That was it. That was the question asked of me. And I was like, I never really thought of that. Looked it up and I was like, that's more in line with what I want to do. I want to be the one to provide the hands-on care, to build that rapport, to establish the, all of that. So that was what made me be a nurse. And then going to nursing school, and in the very first episode, anyone just catching this, go back to the very first episode of this podcast. I read my journal entry of my first experience at clinical in a long-term, quote unquote, old folks home, but a long-term care facility where they were having me get vitals of patients on the toilet and things like that. And I was green as green could be, meaning brand new when it came to patient care. And I was like, if this is nursing, it was almost the anti-aha moment, Izzie. I just was like, if this is nursing, this is not what I signed up for. If this is what we're supposed to do, oh my gosh. So for me, the aha moment came later when I was like, that was not what nursing was actually representing. Mm-hmm. And from there, it was off to the races. So,
I had a student who actually, similar to Eric's experience, was through that first semester of nursing school, long-term care, and she was like, I don't think this is for me. And I was like, don't quit yet, right? That's a very small part of what nursing is. You haven't experienced the real breadth of it. So I think that's probably fairly common. Eric, it's funny that you said that, and I was like, I just had a student talking with me about this last semester, who loves nursing now. And it's like, yes, I can do this. I can see myself in this. So sometimes it just does take time. For me, I feel like, I threw around teacher, pediatrician, nurse. Those are probably good things to be. I wanted to raise my own kids. I didn't want to be a pediatrician and have that much time away. Same, very similar. I didn't understand at that point that doctors aren't really at the bedside, a whole lot. But I'm glad I didn't choose that. And then I saw my niece being born when I was 16, and it was like a tractor beam pulled in, like, oh, this is the moment. Nope, done, game over. And I went with it.
You asked the question, you get to answer it. What about you?
Yeah, your turn.
Oh, sorry.
She's like, I'm just listening to you guys. I'm enthralled. Let's go.
I'm having my coffee with my friends this morning. I think I was always interested in childbirth because my mom did a home birth with me after having 3 C-sections, which is taboo. You don't do that for many reasons. Won't go there. And then not naming her child for 6 years. Again, another thing. We'll get to that later. But then I wanted I don't remember. I think I started out in college as an art major and then landed in nursing. And then there's something about that first semester in long-term care, like that same moment of, if this is what nursing is, I can't do this. Like, this is not for me. Had an instructor say, just like Jen did, someone told me to tough it out. Got to med surg semester, I got a little bit better, and then got to labor and delivery, or the OB ped semester at WSU, and I was just like the curtains opened, or like, the cervix dilated, and I was like, aha, this is what I want to do. Oh, and I'm like, it just made sense. And for the first time, like, I don't think I sat down all day at Sacred Heart's LND unit. Like, I was just up moving, like, what can I see? What can I absorb next? Whose cervix can I check? You want to check? You want to check? You want to check? But
I
yeah,
love it.
just it hit me. I loved it, and all of a sudden, I was getting good grades in nursing school. And I was like, all right, I found my zone. I found my
Yeah.
zone. So, anyways, yeah.
When the cervix opened, I can't. That's like, oh my gosh. Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
okay.
I
I
love
have
it,
to
Izzy.
share one funny, and
Okay.
please, no nursing student let this be docked, but like, it's important to know the anatomy and the right terminology.
Yes.
There was a nursing student not too long ago who, oh, how did they phrase it? We're talking about like things dilating and babies descending and pushing, and they told the nurse, they were shouting, "Oh yeah, like when the vagina dilates," and
Oh.
she's like, close, but not quite.
Yeah.
And then they continued to talk further, clarify it, and then they went on to say, like, oh yeah, like when the lady lips open and the baby emerges, and we're like, oh, proper
Please never say that again.
anatomy.
Please never say that
Proper,
again.
we're like,
I've had that from a patient. I tell the
yeah,
story about this patient who I go in and, I'm professional and all the things, and how's breastfeeding going? And and she's, rough around the edges or whatnot, but I still didn't expect her to say, well, yeah, baby's getting the titty milk. Like, I'm like, okay, all right, great. So when you last breastfed, did you do the right breast or the left breast? Again, breast.
Yep.
Baby use the left titty. Okay, all right, good. And I'm like, ma'am, I can't. You're not gonna get me to say titty. I like my job. I'm not gonna get fired here. That's not happening. Okay, back to the serious stuff. How did you deal with the anxiety of being an independent nurse for the first time?
oh gosh, oh.
I'll take this one while you guys are thinking.
Okay.
For me, because I was new grad, fresh out of it, and we did not have like the residency programs that exist kind of now, but went straight into peds oncology. That's not a brag. If anything, that's just another piece of evidence as to how blonde I am. Got to think through those things. But no, legitimately, that's what I wanted to do straight out of the gate. Knew it was going to be intense, knew it was going to be terrifying, and it was all those things and more. For me, it was, and it takes a long time, but you drive to work, and a literal pit in my stomach, like just feeling that in my gut, oh my gosh, I'm responsible to take care of these humans, and not hurt them at best, and not kill them at worst. And I remember every time, like I'd go early, I'd park in my car, and I'd give myself 5 minutes, and I'd just let that feeling, again, feel the feels, right? Feel that, I'd allow that anxiety to just be there and be like, okay, I chose this. I still love this. It's difficult. I can do this. And then I had one prayer, and I'd pray this prayer every day before shift. And the prayer is this: use me despite me. It's 4 words. Use me despite me.
Oh, I had to write that down.
Oh, because then I knew that no matter what happened and no matter what stupid things I'd do or say, someone would be taken care of. So that's how I did it.
So
That's
cool.
like my everyday prayer. I'm stealing it.
It's so good.
It says so much in 4 words.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to call out that as Eric is talking, Izzy and I are just nodding in agreement. Like, oh yes, I felt that too. Like,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And I want to normalize that feeling for new grads.
Yes.
It doesn't mean you're not in the right spot. If you feel anxious, if you feel overwhelmed, it means you're learning, you're growing. Like, lean into that and just accept, yeah, I'm going to feel anxious. I actually got pregnant like right when I got my first job. I was supposed to commit to a year. When I found out I was pregnant, I went to my manager and I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm going to be on maternity leave. I won't give you a year. And she was like, she was great. Congratulations. And maybe that added to my anxiety. I don't know. but I remember very clearly there was this. So I started on med surge. I couldn't get right into L&D. Started on med surge. There was this nurse. Her name is Judy, and she. Oh my gosh, you guys, she was amazing because she knew everything about everything. And med surge nurses, once they've been there a while, they do know everything about everything. It's
Oh yeah,
amazing,
it's
like
fantastic.
the span of their knowledge. And she had such confidence and was so kind and so helpful. And I was just like, well, that's not where I'm at. Um, and she really took me under her wing. She was awesome. But I do remember that feeling of before every single shift having that anxiety and
Mm-hmm.
having that like dread and a physical feeling in my stomach. And I hated that. And when I started, we had LPNs. And so I'm an RN with a BSN, and I was supposed to like sign off the charts of the LPNs. And I
Oh.
remember there was this guy named Robert, great nurse. And I was like, I'm supposed to sign your chart. You've been a nurse for 25 years. Also, can you help me do this thing I don't know how to do? Sure, let me co-sign your chart. I don't know who developed that. But I have this memory. Okay, I have to, short story long. Um, there was a gentleman who had pancreatitis, which for those of you who don't know is very painful.
Hmm.
And I remember I cared for him very early off of orientation, and I had such anxiety with my alarm's going off, sorry, with trying to
Get to
get
your
his.
hair appointment, Jen. That's
No,
your hair appointment
it
alarm.
was to go to class.
Oh, go to
Um,
class. Okay,
but
wonderful.
it's a spring break, so I
We're
don't have
in
to go to
class,
class.
people. We're in class.
And I was so anxious with his care. And then, probably 8 months later, I ended up taking care of him again, and I was a different person. He was
Hmm.
the same, right? Same symptoms, same, pain management issues, same labs, but I was different. And I felt like that was so profound in that short amount of time, probably 7, 8 months. I hadn't arrived, right? Like I wasn't this like all knowing. I wasn't Judy, right, by any means, but I I handled the situation with a little bit more confidence, with a little bit more
Yeah.
knowledge, and I would hope that every young green nurse, maybe not young, but green new nurse, would have that experience where they can look back and be like, I've done this before, and okay, I'm not freaked out as much this time, or I do know what to do, and I don't have to ask as many questions. There's little growth, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Just give yourself some time. But
Mm-hmm.
I will say, when I got to labor and like, I have an LDRP floor, but when I got to my unit, even when things were going sideways, I never had that anxiety,
Right.
that
Mm-hmm.
that pit
That
in.
same, that same. Yeah, it's kind of that initial wherever you start. That's where you get to enjoy. It's
Yeah.
something awaiting for you on the other side of the NCLEX.
Yeah, they don't talk about that. But it's normal.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Izzy, anything to add to that?
Oh gosh, my first year of nursing was, I don't know for you guys, but like the pit in your stomach, anxiety
Mm-hmm.
sitting in your car, just like mentally preparing yourself. And like,
Mm-hmm.
I think that anxiety didn't leave for a full year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it wasn't, I think once you get like little pets compliments from, like for me, it was like the doctors of like, hey, good job managing that patient. Gave me a little bit of a penny of confidence. Like, oh, I can do this. And Jen, I don't know about you, but my first year in L&D, I got almost every obstetrical emergency you can imagine.
Awesome.
And they
Yep.
weren't things that I caused, which made me feel good about a little bit better about myself. I'm like, okay, my Pitocin, like I managed everything well. I had crappy tracings. I had X amount of crash C-sections with great outcomes.
Yep.
And it's just after that year, I was like, oh, if that's the worst, like I kind of got a handle on this. And then after 2 years, I was like, well, shoot, I'm kind of bored. How about I go be a travel nurse? Which, like, oh gosh, like, I should have humbled myself a little bit. But like that first year of nursing, you guys, it is hard. It is anxiety provoking. And I think, Jen, you said lean into it. And I totally agree. For me, it was like, okay, how do I use this as a tool? Like, I know I'm supposed to be here. I know God put me in this area for a reason. I know I loved this. How do I get back to loving this? And it was getting to be so proficient at my job, I didn't have to ask for help every 5 seconds. But like, still,
Hmm.
even
Yeah.
we do have to ask for help though every day in some capacity. But it was fun after that year of now knowing my job and being proficient. So
Yeah.
Awesome. That's amazing. All right, in the interest of time, because I'm watching that clock tick on down.
Someone needs their highlights.
I
We
said
gotta
I was
cover this
sorry.
gray, guys. We got a lot of gray up
There,
here.
no, don't even.
Don't give away the secret that I'm not a natural blonde. Okay, so what? what?
Gosh.
What is something that you would tell yourself either 10 years ago or whenever you first started nursing? I think for me it'd be, you can do this.
Mm.
You can do this. And I mean, I had to tell myself that back then, but to like be able to say, you know what I mean? That to go, hey, younger nurse, Eric, you're going to have not only can you do this, you're going to have the most rewarding career ever. And you know that, but you don't know what that looks like until you've seen it. And the number of lives that you know you've impacted and the number of lives you don't know you've impacted just goes beyond it. Like that is the icing on the cake. Like that's what I tell myself just to give myself that extra boost.
Okay, I'm sitting here thinking, and I've got nothing. But then I did think of something. But it's cheesy.
Oh
It's
yes.
not like super deep, but it's kind of deep. So, because when I started, you say 10 years ago. Well, I've been a nurse for like 21 years, so it was a little bit further
How
back.
can you do that when you're only 25, Jen?
I
That's so
I
weird.
came out of the womb a nurse, apparently.
Wow, there's the aha moment. The cervix
Aha.
opened.
It is genetic. My mom's a nurse, so it's genetic.
Anyway, the
Um,
cheesy answer. Sorry.
Okay, well, we didn't have Pinterest back then. We didn't have like computer charting for Pete's sake back then. But I've seen younger nurses do it, and if I could go back in time, it's so silly. I would have like a bead jar of babies that I've delivered.
Mm.
I would put in, blue for boy, pink for girl. Nurse deliveries, I would put those in. Even like my angel babies, like demises, I would put
Yeah.
in so that I had some sort of record looking back
Mhm.
of those vulnerable moments that I've been part of.
Yeah.
It kills me that I can't track it,
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I would do that.
Nice.
Okay, read it to me one more time.
Give it to her one more time. Well, I'll
My
delete.
placenta brain is taking over right now. Sorry, guys.
Now the funny thing is I'm deleting these questions as I'm asking them, but I've got a copy. Don't worry, it's right here.
No!
No, it's right here. It's right here. What's something you'd tell yourself 10 years ago, or when you first started nursing, either or, whatever.
Okay.
Go to days.
Yeah, right. Ew,
Yes,
you guys.
yes. I would have done it
Gross.
sooner. Yes, absolutely.
Gross.
But maybe not 10 years ago, and definitely not when I first started. But I would say sooner than I did. But that's anyway. Izzie, what's your answer to? Never go to
gross.
days. Izzie's answer is never go to days.
Nights are fabulous, you guys. Don't let
They
these
really are.
blondies lie to you.
They really are.
I wish I would have just told myself, like, it will be fun. Like, you will find. I hopped around a lot. I did travel nursing, loved that. And I got to a unit in the town that I settled down in, and was told, don't go anywhere else. The grass isn't any greener at any other hospital in the area. And I sadly, the grass was greener, in fact. So I wish I would have told myself, it gets better. Hop around.
Yeah.
Not every shoe fits. Find the one that works best for you.
Right, find your fit.
There it is.
Like,
There
I knew
it
I
is.
loved the area of medicine I was in, but I didn't necessarily love the unit or the hospital I was in. And so where I'm at now is just fantastic. I love my coworkers. We have good bosses, which says a lot. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like my union, all things like that.
Love it. Love it.
Go
So, Izzie,
unions.
did you have any other questions that you had procured? I know you said you had some. I just want to give you a chance to.
Yeah, blondie.
Because I've got the one left. I still have a bunch, but I have one last one. That'll be the last one that I think will be a great one to land on.
Ooh, I've got some like work ones. Like, who's your favorite coworker? Which coworker have you learned the most from?
Oh, I
what's
see.
the-
So scuttlebutt
silly-
questions.
Yeah, what's the silliest work mistake you've ever done? Jen knows mine. Sorry.
I'd say we could answer that, but I think we've addressed that even in both of your guys' episodes and mine. So we won't do the silliest mistake one, if that's okay. Any other questions that any students had that would be general,
Let me see if
help
there were
them in
any.
their practice questions?
Let me see if they're any good. Hold on. Oh, one of them was, do you believe in aliens? Yeah. We're okay with that. Ooh. Well,
I don't know. I'm going to answer that one. Do you believe in aliens? Here's my answer to that, and it's another motto I have that my students hear all the time. I'm so sorry that you have to hear it again, for those of you that have heard me say it before. And that is that it takes all types of people to make the world go round, and it's proven to me every single day that I live and work. That's my answer to do you believe in aliens? Because, I don't know, sometimes I wonder if they walk amongst us. All right, fine. The answer's out. Yes, it's me. I am an alien. Anyway, okay. All right. Moving
maybe we should have
along.
let him take the duct tape off, Jen. Put it back on him.
I know, you're right.
Jen, do you believe in aliens? I know Eric's one. So.
No. Hard
Okay.
no.
Okay, no, let's take it to the next level, because I always wanted to do a Halloween
Wait,
episode.
are we doing a podcast on conspiracy theories?
No. Let's answer. Although that would be. Oh gosh.
I know, deep dive. Sorry.
But here's the follow up to that question, Izzie. Do you guys have any ghost stories, or believe in ghosts?
I don't believe in ghosts, but I think I've encountered a few.
How so?
The first unit I worked on, which I just loved, it had previously actually been a morgue. That floor had been a morgue, and then they renovated it, and it became an LDRP unit. So,
Good Lord.
Yeah. And we had it was like a huge horseshoe of a unit.
Literally from death to life. Like, come on.
Yeah. I was like, that was an interesting choice to make. Cool. At this hospital, you were not supposed to go in and steal things out of other rooms. Like, each room had like 5 pillows, something like that, and you weren't to take pillows out of other rooms. But I had a really fluffy mama who needed an extra pillow, and I snuck into a room that the lights were off in. And Jamie, the housekeeper, she was standing at the computer, and I was like, Jamie, don't tell anybody, but I'm gonna steal this pillow for my patient. I'll return it later. And I stole the pillow out and left. And then took care of my patient, yada yada. Went home, and then it was night shift. I woke up at 10 a.m. with this very weird feeling, and I called the unit, and I said, hey, you guys, did Jamie work last night? Because I was just thinking about running in the room real quick and seeing her at the computer, cleaning the room. And they're like, Izzie, Jamie's been on vacation the last 2 weeks. And I'm like, who the heck? Anyway, I saw a girl with long black hair, like the housekeeper,
Whoa.
very, very pale white skin, and Jamie had pale white skin, standing at the computer typing. And then I realized in my memory, when your computers, when they weren't active, they just had a blue light reflecting off. And yeah, it wasn't Jamie, and there's nobody else on the unit that looks like her. And what dawned on me is when I talked to Jamie, she didn't look at me or turn to me or respond to anything I said. But the computer actually wasn't functioning, so just creepy.
Interesting.
That is pretty creepy.
Anything from you, Jen? Because I got 2 of my own.
Oh, I love that.
No, although, so Izzie, you don't know this because it's been a long time. But one of our OBGYNs, his dad was also an OBGYN who passed away, Dr. McKenna's dad, McKenna Sr. And he, much like J.I., he was quite the prankster. And back when we had paper charts, which were like binders, he would flip them, right? Bugging the nurses, right?
Oh,
and
yeah,
so,
like just flip them closed. Because they would, they open at the top, you guys. They would open at the top, and anyway. Okay.
Yep.
Not that I've ever done that myself, mind you.
So he was before my time, but we still had paper charts, and if they would fall on the floor, somebody would say, "Oh, that's Dr. McKenna. Oh, that's Dr. McKenna Sr." Because that was his MO. He would always be like flipping the chart.
Okay, I'll be quick. I'll be quick with mine because I wanted the last one is obviously much more important question than this, but it's this is it for entertainment factors. This has been great. No, one time I came out, I had used the restroom. I've worked night shift, peds oncology. Peds oncology, you think, would lend itself to a number of ghost stories. Not wrong there. One time I came out of the bathroom and my fellow nurses are staring at the phone that's ringing in the playroom at about 3:30 in the morning. And I usually, someone's called the wrong number. It's a big hospital, all the things, whatever. And everybody's staring at it. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, the phone's ringing. I'm like, why hasn't anybody answered it? So I go walk right in and I'm like ready to go answer it. And I just catch it. And no joke to this day, the area code was 777 and I didn't get to the phone in time. And I was like, guys, you just missed a call from heaven. I don't know what happened. Somebody's trying to get a hold of us and nobody answered it. And so anyway, we had things to say about that. Other people had reported on that unit. We had a beautiful patient. Got to speak at her memorial service, and she would wear these beautiful little fairy wings all around the unit, and people would describe seeing a little girl running by with fairy wings, stuff like that. We had one mama, a patient mama, who asked one of our A&M at the time. They had asked her, they said, well, who was the girl that came in and talked to me and like played with my hair and like kind of was doing my hair and stuff like that? And she's like, well, I didn't see anybody go in your room. Who, you know what I mean? Who are you? So she described the girl. And the A&M, recognizing this was a patient of ours that had died within the last couple months, went and got the memorial service leaflet and came out and just said, took the picture and just said, oh, does that look close to? Yeah, she said, yeah, that was her. Weirdest thing you ever, you know what I mean? Like and again, I'm not part of any of these. I've never been part of a ghost story. But my favorite one is from our unit. Currently, and they tell this story about, we call him Ghost Boy, from one of our rooms, and so Ghost Boy, somebody had seen this. Again, started with the patient room. Like they were like, well, there was this, we thought there was this boy or something. Anyway, and one of our nurses at the nurses station saw this boy walk by the nurses station. They could just see the hat bobbing along, and she said she got up, went around to ask him where he's going and who he belongs to. And there was nobody there, and this was somebody that I trust implicitly. Ergo, I don't know that I believe in ghosts. I don't know. I can't explain ghosts, but I do believe that people see something, and like like Izzie, like what you're describing, there's something there. Like I'm telling people, like, well, no, people are trapped. They're trapped where they worked, and I'm like, I'll tell you, the last place I'm going to haunt when I die is where I worked. I'm sorry, like, you know what I mean? Maybe flipping charts over and stuff. Okay. I'm looking at the time. We got just enough time for this last super important question. Mm-hmm. I'm going to read it the way it was written, but all three of us, Izzie and Jennifer talked about doing like a rapid fire thing. This will be a rapid fire answer for all of us. We can give as many answers as any of the three of us like. How does that sound?
Okay.
It'll make sense here in a second. What are your top 3 tips for new grad nurses? So, top tips for new grad nurses. We're going to rapid fire this one. Whatever we can come up with, go.
Mentally prepare yourself for work each day.
Asking for a friend, how do you do that?
Get a good night's sleep, drink your coffee, feel prepared.
Okay.
Get your favorite compression socks on, good shoes. If you get to wear cute scrubs to work, do that. Because some of us started when you wore Mickey Mouse scrubs to work, and now you get to wear sexy figs to work and look cute and prepared.
That's how I roll, y'all. That's how I roll.
I'm not going to lie. I prefer the vending machine scrubs. That cuts down on my laundry so much. Yeah.
Oh, okay. From a laundry perspective.
That.
Yeah. The light blue ones were not comfortable. The dark blue ones are vastly more comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay, what was the question? Go back. I'm sorry.
Our top tips for new grad nurses. And you've already, I'll echo what you guys already emphasized, and that was, normalize the anxiety. Understand the anxiety is real, but also don't let it rule you. I guess the follow-up to that is fear, but don't fear. I always tell my new hires and all the things, I'm like, you're going to have the healthy fear. That's the respect for the job, the respect for, oh my gosh, I don't want to hurt anybody. Always maintain that fear, but don't let the other fear, the crippling fear, stop you from doing what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that, there's sometimes things that come along that I didn't learn that in nursing school, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you have to, you always have to keep learning, but take the time. I am actually stealing this from my friend Stephanie. It was her advice, but it's really good advice. When you come across one of these things, like, I don't remember anything about hopefully you do, pancreatitis, off the clock, spend some time going back and refamiliarizing yourself or researching or that kind of thing. On the shift is a really hard time to learn pathophysiology and
Yes.
really understand a process. And so when you come across one of these things, like, I don't remember why, fill in the blank, whatever, pancreatitis is so painful, go back and really take the time to research it. I don't have any of my nursing school books, but we have this lovely thing called the internet. And so just Google it. GTS is what I tell my students, but from a reputable site,
Mm-hmm.
right?
GTSFARS.
What?
Okay, yep. His brain is working faster than ours.
Pew, 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 pew.
From a reputable site.
I think I said it right. I don't know. On playback, I'll be like, oh, I got it
you
wrong.
did.
There it is. Izzie's back. The non-blonde joining the
Have-
blondes.
Shut up. Have pens in your pocket, scissors in your pocket, a hemostat.
Yes.
Yeah.
And alcohol
Those things.
wipes. I mean, even though they're in the
Oh my
rooms,
gosh,
yeah,
yeah.
make sure you're just, man, you need those all
Load
the
your
time.
pockets.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you got cargo, throw some flushes in there.
Yes.
Set boundaries, both on the
Ooh.
job and off the job. You're going to have family members and friends. Hey, I got this weird rash in the inside of my groin. Do you want to take a look right here? No. The answer is always, my friends, the answer is always, you know what? My advice would be go talk to your provider. That's it right there. Guard your sleep.
Yeah.
You try and protect your sleep as best you can. We've already touched on that. Whether you're a night shift worker or a day shift worker, ironically, I protect my sleep schedule. I always did it as a night shifter, tried to get as much as I could, et cetera, et cetera. My family was always great about that. You can only do what you can only do. But even still, even the irony is, as a year plus on day shift now, I guard it even more, much to the chagrin of my family. I'm the old man that goes to bed early. I make sure I try to get at least 7 hours of sleep. And I can't tell you, especially as you get older, man, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. So try and protect your sleep.
Okay, so go ahead,
You first.
get organized. And what I mean by that is, I remember when I was a new grad, oh Lord, I had, a brain sheet, right? Like, this is your way to organize your tasks and patient information, maybe assessment data, whatever. I had like a full page on each patient. It was extensive. And over time, I didn't need something as extensive. But get organized before your shift. So I forgot about this advice that I would say to a new grad, come to work early. Get your patient assignment, spend some time in your patient's charts looking. Why are we all sideways?
Oh,
Did we
my
all turn
fault.
sideways?
Nope, sorry. Oh, Eric, you jerk. Sorry,
What were you saying, Jen? Sorry.
Something important, I'm sure.
Get organized.
No,
early.
but like figure out your system for your brain sheet. I would highlight things that I have to do. That, like, I have to do these things. Other nurses use different colors, right? Blue means this, green means this, whatever. And figure out a way to get your brain organized before you start seeing your patients, I think, is a really good habit for newer nurses.
Have healthy relationships. I don't know, my big one, especially if you're working night shift, if you have a partner and it's different when you're both working day shift. If you guys are opposite and you have a fight or you have a disagreement and you don't have a resolution by the time, they get to go to sleep and yet you're up all night working and you might be dwelling on it, etc. Like, have healthy relationships with communication to where you can put something on pause so you can focus on work. Because when you're on different timelines with days and nights, work schedules, it can really impact your work-life balance and your mental health at work. So I'm a big advocate for healthy relationships that can respect your night shift life.
Awesome. And I think because of time, the last one I'll give is give yourself grace. It's not always personal. People are going to say things to you, say things about you. And I wish it stopped after middle school. Ironically enough, it doesn't. So, don't be afraid of the confrontation, the respectful confrontation of, hey, come on, what's going on? I want to have a good working relationship with you. If that works, great. Otherwise, at minimum, make sure you know that not everyone's going to like you. You're not going to like everybody else. Ergo, not everyone's going to like you. And if you're a people pleaser, man, that's a hard one to learn. And it's okay. And that's all right. And so, in those moments, yeah, stinging character rebukes, those are awful. Those are, you know what I mean? Like, but then ask yourself, is it true? No? Okay. Then prove otherwise. You know what I mean? Show them that's not true. So those would be you guys, so many questions came in. I think we hopefully did a good service here. And for those of you that asked questions that we didn't get to, who knows? Maybe we'll do another one. But this has been so much fun, you guys. Thank you.
Thanks for letting us hijack your podcast again. I love it.
Heck yeah. That burlap was itchy.
You're welcome.
Have a good day, everybody.
All right,
Bye,
I gotta go
guys.
get my hair done. Bye.
Go
Loser.
get your hair done. Bye. Here's what's happening on the next episode of Feeding Our Young. She has no idea this is happening right now, and we're going to do this real quick so that Izzie can get some sleep. But I always envisioned this as a 3-episode thing anyway, because there were 3 of us. So
She's just never going to know.
Never going to know until it comes out. So yeah. Oh, right here, right now.
What?
You and I we have to, like, pinky swear, blood, whatever. We're not going to tell her we did this.
Did you like today's episode of Feeding Our Young? Let today's honored guests know by emailing us at thanks@feedingouryoung.org. Also, if you are a nursing student, nurse, or a nursing instructor and would like to be featured on a future episode, please email us a few details about yourself at the very special email address mystory@feedingouryoung.org. If you have a question you would like addressed in a future Q&A episode, please send it to q@feedingouryoung.org. For all other inquiries, please email us at info@feedingouryoung.org or text us at area code 509-ALL-THEM 509-255-8436. We're so excited to have you return to hear our next honored guest. Be sure to follow us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Feeding Our Young LLC. Again, that's username Feeding Our Young LLC. Until next time, be encouraged and go find someone to encourage today.